tried to watch Lost again.
No.
And it was like, I already know all this.
It doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up.
It's not a great television show.
I loved it when it was on.
Well,
everybody.
Hold on a second.
But then we were all let down.
Yes,
I loved it.
He loved it all the way to the end.
It wasn't a great show.
Which is the wrong opinion.
It was, for the time, a really well done show that in the end they ended up revealing. Never mind, we had no plan.
They had no plan. We had no
plan.
Along.
They pulled a
We
J.J.
never...
Right.
We never had a plan.
That was the original J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that was the original Star Wars.
But if you watch it today, like you're saying, it doesn't hold up.
No, but I'm saying like
against
that
television.
was the first time J.J. Abrams
pulled himself.
JJ. Yeah.
Right. I would say he established what his thing
remember
is.
the show Fringe? Did you watch that?
I watched the whole thing.
Same thing.
Oh, it was wonderful.
The first 3 seasons were
No, the ending was incredible.
No, it got so weird and like I don't know. The first 3 seasons of Lost, while it was on TV, were the best.
Yeah, it was exhilarating.
There's a polar bear.
These Hatch. Remember the Hatch?
Yeah, the Hatch.
Oh my god!
You got to enter the numbers.
Remember how the others they moved weird, and then eventually you meet the others, and they never explain why they like lost the power to move weird and silently.
Yeah.
Remember that? They would show them moving, and it was like a weird like effect they put on it.
Yeah, you're like, I can't wait to figure out why.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there's a polar bear.
Yeah. That was in the first episode, the polar bear. But not Penny's boat though. Whew. One of the best.
I still have very, very strong feelings, positive feelings about that whole show.
I don't know. As soon as they got off the island and then got back on, I was like, we
gotta go back.
This is really dumb.
It inspired to me the worst Weezer album, which is Hurley.
I'm unfamiliar.
And it has the character Hurley on the front.
Sure, I remember the cover album art.
Yeah. I'm not aware of that at all.
Are we in an episode right now?
This is it.
You never know that we've started until you've started.
This is as good as it gets.
Yeah,
you know?
That's so true.
Can you believe I pay for a weed service?
With that lawn?
You know, a guy came to my door.
Well, hold on. Do you pay for a weed service or fertilization service? Because my yard looks like that too.
No, he just put down pre-emergent. And another guy came to the lawn and to the door, and he said, "Hey man, I'm with so and so," and I was like, "Oh, we already have a service through Weed Man." That's what it's called, Weed Man. And
that sounds fake, but I believe
he's got multiple streams of income.
that business card has a front and a back.
So the guy says to me, he says, "Look, he's like, look, you know, we got this plan. I said, I already have it serviced through Weed Man. And he's like, you already got, you're like, well, you got a lot of weeds out here, Mo. And I was like, look, man, I don't want to waste your time. I'm not going to buy anything. And then he hit me back with, well, I don't want you to waste your money. It's not working.
Are you a fan of that tactic?
It's a bold strategy.
No, I closed the door, but it did make me think.
Interesting.
You know, it made me think I need to call Weed Man and say, what is even going on? You know what I mean? You guys come here, you knock on my door, and you say, "Hey, I'm Drew with Weed Man. Just letting you know I'm on the property."
How often do they come?
Well, they don't come when the grass is fully dormant, but they've come now. And it looks like they sprayed weeds on the lawn.
They may have.
Like they actually hit the wrong button.
Spring is happening. Spring is happening like in the last 4 days. Like you see all the flowers on the trees. Blooming.
Yeah.
But there's more green on my lawn in the form of weeds than I see in like my whole neighborhood.
That's what my yard looks like every year. Does your yard doesn't look like that? And then by the middle of spring, it's like back to normal.
It looks like this, but no, it never looks back to normal unless we spray for weeds. And, you know, I'm paying them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, hey, Can
I tell you a story about someone that knocked on my door the other day?
Please.
This is like one of those like, am I the asshole type questions, you know?
I like those.
So I don't know what we were doing. We're at home. My wife and I are, I don't know, having lunch or something.
Sure.
And this guy knocks on the door. My dogs like go berserk. I have 2 dogs. They go berserk every time anyone approaches the house. You know, I don't know how they know, but they know.
Sixth sense.
It's wild.
Probably their ears.
Yeah. But like not even like even just walking. Like a person walking their dog on our sidewalk sets them off.
Yeah, I think they hear like the claws.
I don't know. So anyway, this guy knocks on the door. And I had just said, too, I was like, we should put a no soliciting sign on our door. Because I'm so freaking tired of people knocking on my door trying to sell me stuff.
Not to interject, do you notice that I have a no soliciting sign?
Yes.
In big decal letters?
Yes, and they don't respect it. Right, they don't care. So this guy knocks on the door, and I answer the door, and he's like, oh, I know what we were doing. We were moving. I bought a new couch for my office. We're moving furniture. So then this guy knocks on the door. And he knocks on the door. I answer it. I walk outside because the dogs. So I walk outside and he's like, hey, I noticed like I'm out here. I've been talking to your neighbors. I'm with this company. I'm doing windows. Like I noticed you have some seals that aren't working, whatever. And I said I was like, oh, cool. Do you have a business card? I'll take it and then I'll call you. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I just want to let you know about the process. And I said, do you have a business card? I'll take it and then I'll call you when it's convenient for me. And then he's like, yeah, but I just want to let you know that, what happens is I was like, I'm in the middle of something in my house. I don't want to I'm not trying to be rude, but I want, if you have a business card, I'll take it. That way I can call when it's convenient for me. And he's like, well, I don't have business cards. Right. All I have is these reminder cards. And I was like, does it have your number on it? He's like, well, I can write it. And I'm like, it's okay. And then I literally just turned around and closed the door. Mm-hmm. And I was so mad at the guy because I tried to be nice. Mm-hmm. I tried to
He had several opportunities to be out.
I was just like even if his first response was, oh man, I don't have a business card. Here's my number. Yeah. I would have been like, great. Because you know what? Eventually I do want new windows.
Yeah. But it's a strategy to not have a business card. They don't have a business card so that you can't ask for a business card and they have to leave. They want to talk to you. They don't accept no for an answer. You can't be nice to them.
Well, then I guess all bets are off.
I have no soliciting on the door.
It was over before it began.
I guess if that's, you're not wrong. Yeah. Because that's like a common thing. You say, can I have a business card? They say, well, I just want to tell you more. Yeah. And I'm just like...
It's like, well, I just want you to shut the hell up. Right. Get away from my door.
I think that's really... Next time I should just open the door and let the dogs run out and... they just love him to death.
Do these people come by during the day? Like, I don't get these people.
Yeah, they come by during the day, and
so I'm not there.
Okay, they just come by during the day, and or whatever. Sometimes in the
evening. I'm over it.
I appreciate when I see them walk by the house. I see them look at my door. They see the no soliciting, and they just keep walking.
Right
there we go. It's working. Yeah, well, not with the lawn doctor.
Yeah, that guy came right up.
He
was like
Weed Man doesn't.
No, that wasn't Weed Man. This new guy was someone else.
Yeah. The style of homes around this area, I think yours is like this. Yours is like this too. The doors have so much glass on the front that you can just see right into people's house. If you stand on the door,
we put blinds in all of that stuff. Yeah. So you can't see into our house.
I think the solution is just when you see someone at your front door is just to shoo them away.
They can see you doing it. Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not answering the phone or I'm sending you to voicemail.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, what's the equivalent?
Oh, like in
when
person.
When you're at my front door.
Like screening a call.
Yeah, you just go like this.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the double click on the iPhone. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
What I don't like about... Does your door have like a peephole?
It doesn't need it.
It's like glass.
You can just see right through it.
Oh, yours is actual glass.
Mm-hmm. Like mine. It's
yours is glass
just like
too.
mine,
wood and glass. Yeah.
So my door is solid, but it doesn't have a peephole. I don't understand. In California, I felt like there was not a door in existence without
those.
Without
one.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And my door doesn't have one.
It would be ridiculous if mine had one because the whole thing's a peephole.
It's not even a peephole. It's just a hole.
It's like looking outside.
It's like a window.
Like I can just see
What
outside.
if you open the door and pretend that he's invisible? But you act confused.
So I worked in an office one time, and the same thing would happen in this office, right? People would come in, and then there was only like 6 of us at this company, and they would come in and they would start talking. And one time we're like, I wonder how long, if we don't acknowledge that this person is in the room, I wonder how long they'll stay before they just leave.
It's tough because they don't want this job. You know what I mean? They would much rather have your job in an office.
Totally.
Where they don't have to walk
oh
around.
my gosh,
Yeah.
totally.
I've started answering solicitor phone calls and just letting it be open. Like in the like, I don't say anything. I just answer it. I'm driving around.
Yeah.
And I normally hear them go, "Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Are you there? Hello," and then they hang up. I've done it 3 or 4 times now.
You should do the thing like when we're all together and someone didn't come and you call them and then they don't answer and then you leave
them a voicemail.
You leave a voice. That's Nate does this all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you'll get like a 16-minute voicemail from Nate and it's just
usually
the conversation.
Whiskey tasting.
It's whiskey tasting.
Yeah,
we should just do that. You should just do that.
Just call them.
Like if one called right now, we just answer it and let it be on speakerphone.
I've done a few times where like the baby was crying and I'll just I'll answer the phone, just set the phone next to the baby.
There you go.
Just like, look, you called me. Like if you don't want to hear the sound of this, then...
When I was refinancing my house, I got all these people calling and, they're like, they tell you your address because they looked in the whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember asking this one lady, she was like, "And are you still at this address?" And I said, where are you? And then she's like, we're in Arizona. I was like, cool. Like what? Like where in Arizona? And then she's, I remember she was just Scottsdale. I was like, oh yeah, Scottsdale. Like what area? And then she was like, we're like, she said something, and I was like, where do you live?
Just slowly drilling down.
Yeah, because I was thinking, my address.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I should know your address. I was like, no, what's your address?
Right.
Yeah. Let's level the playing
And she was
field.
like, well, I'm not going to tell you. And I was like, well,
you're calling me, telling me my
Yeah.
address.
Right.
Yeah. You're like,
Kind of,
see? There's like an old Seinfeld joke about that.
What's that?
Where this like telemarketer calls. He's like, well, can I have your number? Maybe I'll call you back, say around dinner time. And they're like, no. And he's like, so now you know how I feel. And he hung up the phone.
Seinfeld. Good.
They knew.
Yeah, even back
They
then.
knew. It's something that hasn't gone away.
Well, if people would stop buying things from these people, then they would stop doing it. That's really the
It
problem.
must be working, right?
It's got to be working.
Yeah.
It's old people. It's like the
Yeah.
gift card scams. Like my grandfather twice has ended up, God rest his soul, he ended up at like a Walgreens.
Driving
Trying
with
to buy,
them on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to buy gift cards to give to this hospital because I had been in a car accident
gosh.
and they would use real names of the family and stuff.
these
that they would
stories
just find
that-
on these.
That's wild.
And old people don't know anything about technology. It's just how it is.
Right.
You get so at what's this age? You reach some age where you're like, I don't want to learn anything new. So
I feel like I'm really close to that.
It's like
age.
technology. Yeah.
I don't know
It's like
what
I
it is.
stop here. Go
It's
on
really
without
true.
me.
Yeah.
I
you
feel
know?
like I'm close to that age. too.
Yeah, gosh,
And you
it's
just
gotta
don't want to learn any new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more dramatic because, tech speeds up. Like Suze, you and I were talking about this. It's like we probably largely are the generation that will like shy away from AI and using AI really in our everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
We want AI in our software. We want AI in this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to interface with AI like it's a person. It's not going to be our generation that like develops an emotional attachment to their AI or like falls in love with it and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't prefer to talk to computers. We very much like to type at them. We like to input things.
Totally.
We don't mind a little bit of voice dictation. But like I was telling Susan, we were chatting about this on the way down to Alabama. Our kids, the sort of iPad kid generation, they talk to tech before they can even write or read. They dictate the searches. They know the little bar at the top is how you search for something in kids' YouTube. So they hit that and they hit the little microphone icon and they can say, Peppa Pig.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Dude, it's wild.
And so their thing is like, I can talk to this.
Yeah.
So I think talking to tech, like whenever that really becomes the main way you interface with a thing, a virtual assistant or whatever, that's how you'll do it. I know it's like Leo, we bought him for his birthday. We bought him a little, the mini HomePods.
Oh, yeah.
Put in his room.
Yeah.
And we did it for 2 reasons. One, he's always asking us weird questions. So we said, just ask this.
Parenting replacement. They call
Yeah.
that,
I love that.
And then 2, like he'll ask, like, what's the most deadly bear in the world?
Right. And the HomePod knows.
Yeah, the HomePod. But also, he
I don't
asks.
know. A lot of times she's like, I put some results on your iPhone.
Yeah, you look it up.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, he if I pull out the weather in the morning, I go, it's going to be like 7. It's going to be in the 70s today. And Leo will be like, it's going to be 74. And the reason is he gets up and he asks Siri what the weather is. Mm-hmm. And we've told him that if it's below 60 degrees, we don't really want him wearing shorts. Or I think it's 58. I forget what line we said. We said, here's a line. Okay, you look at the weather and you learn how to dress appropriately.
So smart.
You can't have a T-shirt and shorts just because you've decided you want it. Right. You have to consider the weather.
Yeah.
And also, if you find out it's really cold or it says it's raining, you need to bring a jacket or a sweatshirt. Yeah. Right. That way we don't have to have these debates. Because the kids want to debate you.
Oh, all the time.
You know, I'm like, no, you need a sweatshirt. They're like, no, I don't. I'm like, you don't have any information to say that. That's a lie. Right. You're just making false claims out of nowhere. No, I don't. You don't know anything. You didn't look up the weather. But now Leo has looked up the weather. You know, we're like,
now
hey.
you both know.
Yeah. You need to bring your rain jacket. You're like, I don't need it. Yeah. It could literally snowstorm today. You have no idea. You haven't been out of the house. You got dressed. You rolled out of bed. You got dressed. Came downstairs. You know. I made you eggs. You read a book.
I have the same debate with my kids.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
To your point, though, I know the weather every day because I go to my phone, swipe up to the weather app, and push the button, look at the thing. Like, I'm not asking.
Me too. I look at my
whole
watch.
Point. Yeah. It's like I don't ask.
Yeah, I don't ask.
Audibly.
I just look at my watch.
Yeah. No, you think about
and
it.
And then I
like,
remark to my wife, hey, it's going to be 70
Now it's
today.
out loud.
Yeah, you know.
It is wild, though. It's like, you know, our parents grew up with computers as like only something that big corporations have, and they're huge, and they don't really do that much. We grew up with computers like, no, it's just something you sit at a desk and you work on, you know, you can use the computer. It's connected to the internet.
Yeah.
And like our kids are growing up with like, it's just everywhere. There's a computer everywhere.
What do your kids think about laptops? I don't even think my boys would know what to do.
So my older daughter has a phone.
They'd probably try to touch the screen.
They for sure would.
Right. I mean, that's
sure.
the first thing
They for sure would.
So my older daughter has a phone. My younger daughter has an iPad. Both of those things are locked down, so they don't have like Safari. They can't like Google search and
their
stuff.
devices. Yeah.
Right. But the laptop that we share, or that they, I mean, I have a couple, but the laptop that the rest of the family shares doesn't have those restrictions.
Like, remember when we were young and the family computer was like in the living room?
Yeah,
Totally.
dude, I've actually thought about getting like a iMac or something,
a desktop
And
computer.
get some dial-up too to go with it, like just to have.
John, you have the same builder of your house as I do.
Yeah.
The room that you know where I like put my shoes and stuff, where I come in from the garage.
Yeah.
They call that the Pulte Planning Center.
I know.
And in the manual, there's a window that I ask them to cover up. And in the like brochure for the home, it still has a computer there. And it's literally that room in my house is still from a design where they thought, if you look at the shelves, it has like places for envelopes.
Yeah.
That's where they've designed the home computer to go. And that way the mother can sit there or the father can sit there and pay bills while she looks out of this window to the living room to see her children.
Yeah.
Like, it's a room designed for
It's the planning center.
the year 2020. Like, it's
Different
like 02.
than
It's
Planning
like 02.
Center Online.
Yeah.
Not for worship sets.
No.
Not for worship sets.
The kids are watching TRL with Carson Daly. You're paying a bill online. That's like the moment it's designed for.
Yeah,
totally.
You know, and they didn't update it.
Right.
Wow.
And we're
My
like, can you
house
close
does
this
not-
up? What do we have this for?
My house does not have the Pulte Planning Center.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. But if I had that, I would put an iMac right there. I think it would be amazing.
Right.
Don't you have one there?
No.
Oh, there's not.
That is the charging center for the house. So there's like all these chargers lined up. It charges iPads. It charges MetaQuests. It charges everything.
It's smart. Well, and especially because you had them cover up the window.
Yeah, so it's like a separate room.
Yeah, one of our neighbors has that, and it's just like always piled high with crap.
Yeah.
It's like indoor storage.
But there's no, but it's open. You can see it from
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So I quickly realized this room is the drawer that you just throw
junk
where your
drawer.
keys it.
It's
And
the junk
But it's a
room.
whole room.
Yeah,
It's a
for
junk
sure.
room.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
And look,
Sure.
there's 2 broken
There's
amps in
so
there right now.
Yeah, there's so many horizontal surfaces for things to build up on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife put a printer in there.
Oh boy.
Smart.
You know?
Keep going. I'm interested to hear. You're talking about your family computer.
Yeah, sorry, the family
So-
computer. Go ahead.
Oh, the laptop is not restricted And so they use that to like search Google
MapQuest.
for things. They
School stuff.
projects, or like Pinterest.
Mavis Beacon.
Huh?
Mavis Beacon.
Who's Mavis Beacon?
Nope.
She taught me to type.
Man, that was a deep cut.
No, but like, so that's the only reason they use a laptop.
Interesting.
Is for
because the
like-
phone and the iPad is everything. Like that, that does it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So my kids have laptops. Each of them has gaming laptops. And
That's
they have-
all they use them for, though, mainly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even sure they know it goes on the internet. Like, if I ask my kids what's a web browser, I don't know that they would know the answer to that question.
Wow.
So
Like even on a phone, like they wouldn't. I mean, what's a web browser?
I'm not sure they would know. They'd be like, you mean if I said, no, open Safari, they would know that goes to the internet. They would know that's how you look at a web
Terminology,
page.
yeah.
Oh.
But they wouldn't even know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
if you said open a web browser, they'd be like, I don't have one.
yeah,
They'd be like, open Safari.
Ollie just knows that because I got on the laptop and the big thing, he can game on the main screen and put a YouTube gamer on the secondary screen, put on his headphones, and then he's Discording with his friends. So he's just chatting with
Living the
his friends on
dream.
Discord.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they're like, all right, let's get off of here. And then he puts on his MetaQuest and he just starts talking. I'm like, who are you talking to? And he's like, all my friends. They all just jumped on MetaQuest.
Oh, my gosh.
So they're just jumping from thing to thing.
This frightens me.
I know. I don't know if this is
It's like he has a text group and a Discord group, and they're all friends on MetaQuest. They're called Da Boys.
the boys.
BOIS. Da Boys.
Oh, no Z involved.
I think that's pronounced Dubois.
Right. It's French.
Much to their own surprise. Like they don't even.
So
know.
I think though these like I just noticed the way they use this tech is different, and they have no concept of like it's the way that you and I have no idea how plumbing works in a city. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
I follow.
There's apparently a really big pipe under every road. And then it connects with another pipe to my house, but it's always lower than all my toilets. Crazy they made that work. It's insane. Wow.
It all goes somewhere.
It all goes somewhere. And then sometimes there's a pump.
Nope.
So far.
It goes well, it does go to the ocean, but not before it goes to a septic plant. It goes to a
Eventually,
plant
yeah.
for a sewage plant first.
I have driven by and seen those. I'm like, yeah, of course those exist.
They get
Yes.
water back out of it.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
They push water out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched some like kid video that
Yeah.
explained all this because like Braden was interested. I
You
was
were
like, I
like-
never knew that.
You
Yeah,
were
the
like,
rest
this is
becomes
wild.
It's
the
nuts.
rest becomes a solid. And
Mm.
then they can put that in the ground and stuff.
Yeah.
Go and watch that video. It's intriguing.
Yeah.
So it's like, stuff like that. Like, I don't know. We don't know how.
Yeah, like one time it was, hey, Dad, the internet doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And I opened the closet where the modem is, and I
Yes.
unplug it. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like resetting the modem. They're like, the internet doesn't work. I'm like, how do you think the internet
Yeah.
comes into our
Not that
house?
They don't think about it. Like,
They don't
Leo,
have the concept.
I
Yeah.
tried to explain to him what Wi-Fi was,
Right.
and he just like the concept that you're connecting to something, that there's like a server somewhere, there's another computer that's processing stuff. Like you're sending information to it, and so are all the other players, and then it's sending the information back. You have to get on that thing. The only way I've been able to explain it is by telling them it's like a Minecraft realm, because Minecraft realms are just the product name for what are really Minecraft servers. And we used to call them Minecraft servers before Microsoft sold cloud servers and called them realms. Now you can have your own Minecraft realm. Play from anywhere in the world. It's your world floating up there in the cloud. So you build a house on your iPad, you can jump on your buddy's iPad and get him on there and he can use it. Two people can go, and the game's always hosted. It's always on. But before, you had to just have a guy who was running it on his computer and you connected to him. Anyway, it's just different. They just view things differently. And they
Yep.
We
were talking about this with guitar stuff. You guys play guitar? Oh,
Can you play that baritone? Like you're holding it
listen,
and you're
this is
plugged
Guitar
in.
Friends episode 26.
Yeah.
We're on the set. We're on the we're
Wow.
on the third.
this is a new trend.
Is the content getting better
I
or
like
worse?
it.
I
Like
can't
is
tell.
this? You
I think
can't
I'm
tell.
happy about it.
We're this episode 26. We're well on our way into the second. I'm going to call this like the second. It's not even second. It's just the second group of 25.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And that feels like something.
Can I pause and congratulate you guys? I was at lunch today with a friend, and he said that only 20% of podcasts make it past episode 3. And he said of those remainder, of the 20% that's left, only 10% of those make it past episode 20. So we're in the top, very small echelon of podcasts that have made it this far.
Wow.
So, look at us.
I mean, the Toe Junkie podcast had 100 episodes?
99. I'm going to tell you something.
One away.
I promised on episode 99 that I had a huge guest for episode 100.
And just couldn't get there.
And that's why it died.
And John Mayer wasn't available. But I really, my plan, and we're going to see if it happens, but I'm just going to tell you the plan. The plan was to have me on it. And I was going to cut it all up. I was going to be on it with myself.
Oh my gosh.
Is it HW and John?
I don't know.
Wow. That's like...
And so...
I think
is that meta?
And so I think it'll come back eventually.
I think now it should be HW versus bathrobe HW.
Does this guy have a name? This bathrobe guy?
That should be.
There was Line 6 Todd. What was that guy's name? The black and white guy?
What?
Line 6, he like backwards hat. He like held the helix.
The Line 6 guy and the Kemper guy.
Did he have a name?
And the tube amp guy.
The tube amp
guy.
guy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I know it's Tube Snob.
I forgot about these characters.
Yeah, I can't get them out of my memory.
Yeah.
They're burned in there.
No, they're there.
Oh my gosh,
Dude,
that's amazing.
You know, the bathrobe thing, what is it? I don't really know. People see it resonates.
The people that comment really love it.
Yeah. Can you tell everybody what the message you got about? So I put up Tone is a Lie, and it's 33 minutes of me. I don't know I talk about everything.
Yeah.
By the way, the disclaimer you put in the description of that video is one of my favorite pieces of things on the internet.
Wait, I think I missed that. What is that?
I'll read it to you.
Yeah, do that. Is it in the description?
Yeah, it's the description.
The
description of the videos.
I'm pulling up those comments.
I put if people don't know what we're talking about, there's a number of videos on the Tone Junkie YouTube channel where I'm wearing a bathrobe. It's usually on Saturday mornings. I come down here before I do anything else, and I just shoot a video. And I loosely might have an idea of how it's going to start, but it never goes exactly the way anyone anticipates.
Slurp.
So, and some people really don't like that, by the way, that I drink coffee on these things, but
oh well.
Go start your own thing. It says, here's the disclaimer. Disclaimer, all videos in my bathrobe are filmed on Saturday mornings in the early morning hours. Hardly anything I say should be taken seriously. In fact, very rarely should anything you see on this site be taken seriously. I'm just talking and playing guitar. Nothing I am offering should be viewed as advice. And who really knows what is real and what isn't? After all, my name isn't really HW.
That's a solid reminder.
Yeah.
I want to make a T-shirt that says that. It just has all
the whole blurb.
Yeah, the whole blurb.
But I think it's interesting. But can you share with everybody? You got a message. So I put up that video.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of my better pieces of content. In fact, I'll go on record and say the video, Tone is a Lie, that video is, if someone asks me, what do you do for a living? I go, do you have 33 minutes?
You would send him a link.
Do you have 33 minutes?
Wow.
That's the thing.
No Kemper, no quad cortex,
and
no Line 6.
I might say, because really, I'm a wonderfully committed character actor who has found himself,
right.
Having products to sell.
Yes, right, exactly. And
oh my gosh.
And I don't, but there's yeah. This is going to sound weird. I would listen to myself for those 33 minutes. Like, I watch that piece and I go, this is mildly fascinating. Do you know what I mean?
Worth a watch.
Yeah. It's not lost.
So I got this message from my buddy Michael, and he just writes and says, "Is HW okay? This latest video seems unhinged with a worried face, like the big eye face." I said, haha, he's a character for sure. He said, oh, I know. I've been around for a while, but this one had me worried for his sanity a little bit. He was like legit, like, there's a wellness check on this guy.
Yeah.
Like, is he okay?
I think that makes it better.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that.
Mission accomplished?
Yeah. I don't know that the Emmys or the Oscars have a category
spot
for this.
That's probably the only reason you're not nominated.
Yeah, but
I don't know where to put you.
I feel
I
like
like
that
that.
character should win Best Supporting Actor. Do you know what I mean? Because he's really supporting the whole channel. You know what I mean? And it's not really about profiles or anything.
No.
There's no real point. I honestly have some concerns that like it has that type of content doesn't have a place on this channel in this thing, Tone Junkie. But it just feels so. There's nothing else like it.
Cathartic. Yeah. Hey.
And so as long as people are responding positively, and even maybe if they're not, you know, I'll probably make those.
I think you said it well. This character is an extension of your rants on the Tone Junkie podcast.
Right. It
Like the
feels like
stream of
that.
consciousness.
Yeah, it's like
it's like a video version of that. Like,
Right.
just let me talk, and I'm just going to end when I end. Like, I don't really
Right.
care. You know, it's like, yeah, we're extending that now.
yeah.
Yeah.
We should get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe one day he'll show up. We can
I don't know
interview
how.
him.
It's funny. I don't know how to interact with other people and maintain that sort of thing. You
It's
know what I
got to
mean?
be
Yeah.
like a solo.
It's just a different cadence when you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
We
Right.
could always try it.
Yeah, we could try it. I could put on a bathrobe. And
That's like it's like if that's like the Andy Kaufman version of HW.
yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought HW was the Andy Kaufman version of HW. There's more layers.
It's
Apparently, I didn't
Yeah.
know that, but yeah.
We're still.
yeah. Well, I'm
Oh
enjoying.
dang, coffee
I'm
now diet or Coke Zero probably.
enjoying Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, this guitar is rad.
Let's
Are
hear
you
it.
going to play it?
Let's hear it. We're only 35 minutes in, and we're gonna get to guitar now.
Am I still in drop A? It sounds real good.
Wonderful.
Sam's not even plugged in. No, the 58 is a 58 5E3 Bandmaster 2.2 profile. Here's the amp actually up here out of its house,
Oh, yeah.
and it's lovely. It's lovely. That's your baritone. It's a baritone.
It's a baritone
It's loosely
guitar.
somebody's baritone,
Right.
And
We
it's a
found
baritone.
it on the side of the road. And so
Yeah, that's cool.
It has a
it
story.
is cool.
Yeah, drop A on a baritone is pretty cool. I gotta
As
tell
if
you.
the low B wasn't low enough.
Yeah.
Just keep
yeah.
going.
All right, should we get to the first the first topic?
Hey, let's tell people about these new.
Oh yeah, well, just so people are aware, we will not have any cameras dying from here on out.
Yeah.
I purchased this little thing for the camera that plugs it into the wall.
Who knew?
It's genius.
I've had these.
There was a
cameras-
way to get constant power to this piece of electronics.
Yeah,
Sitting this close to an outlet this whole time, but using batteries.
it's going to be really.
There's
useful.
literally 1,000 things plugged in here.
Yeah,
The
it's
cameras,
gonna be really
the cameras were the only
This is going to
things
be
that
a
were.
real. This is going to be really useful.
Yeah, so get ready, people.
Yeah.
There's no limit now.
We can go for 4 hours.
The cards max out at some point.
That's true.
But it's a lot longer. All right, so Line 6 released the Pod Express. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
And this is an interesting piece of kit. That's what the Brits say. Piece of kit. You know?
They do say
Been
that.
hanging out with a Brit or two. And it's an interesting piece of kit because who's this for? Like, I look at this thing, and you know what? The first thing I saw, I was like, whoa, what a cool, like, form factor. I like when stuff does something or does a lot, and it just is all right there. And it's got 2 buttons on it, and you can see the knobs. And I'm like, oh, you got all the delays, the verbs, you can put this stuff together. And so I was like, whoa, cool. On, off, tap tempo. You know, I'm thinking maybe you can do MIDI in. So I'm thinking like, okay, it's some sort of a like simplified HX stomp or something. And then, no, it has the pod name on it. Okay. I like still that it's tactile. But I'm scratching my head a little bit here. I don't mean that as a criticism of the product itself. It looks like a great product. I think it's just not for me and not for us and not for anyone who's doing kind of what we're doing. It seems like it's really designed to be what as someone's first thing or their main thing, it's more of a beginner type thing. That's kind of how it hits me. The price point, I think, communicates that.
How much is it?
It's under $200.
$179, I think.
Yeah. And it takes batteries. It has a regular, you can plug it into power too.
Yeah.
But the fact that they threw in battery in there, and I'll tell you the other reason I really think they're targeting more of a beginner. The amp models are Helix amp models, but you'll notice they don't name them. Instead, they give more generic names like Clean, Crunch. And so it seems to me this is really for someone not familiar at all. You know, maybe someone who's walking in the kind of the Line 6 world with no real knowledge of what Line 6 is up to. It's not really meant to replace the Stomp or integrate on a pedal board with Strymons or any of this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's really more designed to go to like, hey, that person. And I think it kind of builds on that pod go ethos of like, it's all the professional sounds you have, but it's more limited. You've got only a few delays, only a few reverbs, a couple choruses.
So they are HX
drives. Yeah.
They're HX.
HX effects and amp models. But it's packaged in a way that you might not know that unless you read the manual.
Right.
If you're familiar with the HX family and stuff.
My favorite
I'm not
is
sure
that
why you'd buy
the
it.
one piece of marketing I saw about it had like the little kidney bean pod
Yeah.
behind it.
And I think the red is cool.
Which-
like the way they use the
yeah.
red, kind of a
Yeah, we
throwback
should
to
get
that.
one.
Yeah, sure.
Because you have that, the rack mount thing.
Yeah.
I have one of those kidney ones.
Yeah.
Really?
In my garage. Yeah, I have to get a power supply for
You know
it.
those are worth like $1,000.
Are they really?
Yeah. You should. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, what? Are you sure about that? I was like, I don't think so, bro.
Things are wild now. Who knows?
These are like $200. These are like the pro.
But like
might
I
be
have
on
one of those the kidney ones and we should get one of those and just see what sounds the best.
Shoot them all out.
Shoot them out.
I mean, look,
That's what the internet wants.
This new thing is going to sound good. I just looked at it for me personally, and I just went, what is this even? What is this for? What does it offer? And I can't really come up with anything it really offers me.
I think you're onto something with like the Clean Crunch
Yeah, I think.
labels. Because even like, the Vox, like Valvetronics line,
Yeah.
they have like different names, but it's like it's named the amp.
The amp. Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like boutique or
Yeah. It feels like they're trying to go,
Blackface
hey, this
or
is
something
everything
like
you
that.
need. But it's not for someone who's like, oh, no, I needed to do this many sounds and this, and I need MIDI capability, I need this.
Right.
I don't know if it has MIDI or anything, but it takes batteries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that really kind of.
So if it does, it wouldn't do MIDI for long.
I see someone like traveling in my mind, and they put it in their backpack. They get to their hotel room.
Yeah.
They pull this out. And
Yeah.
they,
Does it have like a headphone jack?
It does. It
Yeah,
has a
that's-
headphone jack.
I
they
feel
plug
like
their
that's-
guitar in, and they just
Yeah.
jam.
It's just a new little kidney bean.
I actually really think the form factor is super cool. I almost wish they made this form factor with like 4 knobs and 2 things and just put the entire DL4 and Helix delays in there and sold that as now here's the Line 6 delay pedal. Because remember they did that with the remember they had remember those ones, if you pushed it hard you turned it on and off, and then if you tapped it lighter it had the stomp the
yeah.
tap. They're Line
that was
6
a
pedals.
Line 6 pedal?
Yeah, and remember you bought the bass and you could take out the module
yeah.
and you
I
could
had-
put in the delay and
I
stuff.
had the Verbzilla one.
Verbzilla was one of them.
Yeah.
I
and
do
what
not
it was,
remember this at all.
Yeah, so they just
They
got
were so heavy. They were
yeah,
like metal.
They were. We'll put it on the screen right here.
Yeah.
And John, you can look. You got your phone?
I do.
Just look up Verbzilla. As soon as you see it, you'll remember.
But you should ask like dictation. Like don't.
Yeah, try
don't
that,
type it
actually.
in.
Hey Siri, show me Verbzilla.
Do you know how mad people listening to this out loud are right
I
now?
know, they
You
may
know-
have.
Yeah.
We may have to
It
edit
is what
that
it
part
is.
out.
Oh, you're good.
Should I
6
go on
Verbzilla.
Reverb and look it up?
Yeah, anywhere will work.
Yeah, the modules they sold separate. And
Yes.
you could drop them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying basically like.
Like because right now they don't offer any like standalone. There's no standalone reverb pedal. There's no standalone
Oh, that's
from Line
interesting.
6. What they have is, I mean, they do have standalones, but they're not. They're like larger units, like the DL4.
They don't have a reverb version of the DL4, right?
Correct.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Well, the DL4 was like a classic, and
I would think by now they would have the glitz and the
sure
was it Ganymede and all that in a pedal.
the
like standalone.
DL4 actually does have those,
Oh,
but
this
the way
thing?
they're assigned is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I do remember.
Remember
this.
those?
Yeah. Oh,
remember
man.
those?
I got into those.
So right now, Line 6 doesn't have like here's a delay pedal, like
I'm
a single
sorry.
delay pedal.
You guys, do you remember how ugly this is?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Oh, the Echo Park.
The Echo Park, that was it. Line 6 Echo Park.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Now I remember the form.
Yeah, they're weird. They're weird looking. They were weird
cool
then.
at the time.
Yeah, kind. Yeah. They worked. They're functional.
The idea that you push really hard on it,
To turn it on and off.
turn it on and off, and then
they
like
tap.
a tap thing. That's cool. I like that.
It's
Like
a really
Boss never
great
did-
concept.
Boss never did anything like that,
for sure.
you
It's
know.
a really
They did
great.
on the DU7 though. If you held down,
Yeah, you had to hold it down.
Oh,
though.
but that's not
Different
That's
form
not
factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I almost wish they would take this form factor and just give me the delays in that box, just that size.
So I'm a little unclear on how you tweak anything on the. I didn't watch like a in-depth video.
Yeah.
Where, like if you're on an amp, like how do you adjust the amp
I want to look at it. Now.
So
settings?
I don't think you do. I think you just turn and there's multiple options, and it just gives you the options.
Oh, it's not like you can get into the EQ at all, or like the.
Maybe on the app, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And the delays too, and verbs, you just change
It's
to
just
different
one,
ones. Yeah.
It kind of maybe that's the amp you were talking about. Like at Guitar Center, when I test guitars, like I'll go to a amp that has all the effects in, and it's just like delay knob. It's just like more. I don't know. Is that a Katana or something, or like something?
What's this thing called again?
It's the Pod Express.
Express.
There
yeah.
we go.
Yeah, so I think this is a cool product. I mean, it goes back to the theory here that we've been sharing for a long time that Line 6 is basically Taco Bell at this point. It's the same, it's a set number of ingredients, and they're figuring out infinite ways to put them together into a product that's kind of tasty. Taco Bell's got, what do we say, 9 ingredients, 10 ingredients.
Right.
And, they're putting, does the tortilla go on the outside of the cheese or the inside of the cheese? Is it wrapped around a complete thing that's already finished? Do we put cheese on the outside? Do we dip cheese? What kind of cheese?
How do you... Oh, this is actually confusing. So the amps are clean, special, chime, dynamic, crunch, heavy, and lead.
And those
I don't know what special or dynamic would mean.
those all correspond to actual models in the Helix, but they don't tell you, what they actually are.
But
so
a
Helix user...
I'm saying as I guess a professional guitar player at this point in my life, I don't know what those mean. That's very bizarre to me.
Well, it's all just... they can't... I mean, they're just... clean crunch. I mean, whatever, like dynamic.
And then,
gotta be in the manual,
and then you
right?
have you have distortion settings, you have mod settings, delay, and reverb.
Yeah.
But then underneath those, like it says distortion and then gain, and then it says mod and then mid. So I guess there's a way like turning the gain. So what I don't understand is how to switch between different things.
Me neither. There's videos on about
Or maybe
this
that's
online,
what the alt thing is for.
But I think it's a cool piece of kit. It's just
it's out of stock.
I get confused when stuff like this comes out, and it feels a little bit like it's marketed towards
beginners.
Well, it feels like it's marketed actually towards us. I see it appear on all these channels, and it gets talked about on the Line 6 groups, and it almost seems like to me like, why would any of us buy this? We already have all these things.
I have seen most people go, "Hey, look, this is out," but not a lot of people going, "I can't wait to buy it. Going to put it on a pedal board."
Yes.
I haven't seen that sort of enthusiasm about it. More just like, "Did you see this new product?"
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, it kind of goes to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are rushing out to buy this for their pedal boards.
I mean, I'm going to get it and try it.
Yeah,
I think
maybe
the form factor is
curiosity.
really cool.
Yeah.
I wish, for me, I wish it was something. I love this form factor from them. I wish it was something a little more useful in this form factor, because I would greatly prefer this to actually like. There are times when I would maybe reach for something like this instead of the Stomp, because I might have a need on my pedal board. Like if I'm pairing the Stomp with just a Tonex, I need the Stomp to do a ton of stuff. But if I have some other pedals that handle some things, maybe I just mostly want the Stomp for delays. I would actually grab something a little more tactile.
But does this thing have... It doesn't have presets or anything.
No, but I'm just saying I wish they would do,
So
tactile knobs with an on-off and a tap tempo, maybe like a favorite kind of setting. Maybe it toggles between two things.
Yeah.
And it's just like a mini DL4 is what I'm
This
saying
really-
in this form factor.
Oh,
would
like
be
a
cool.
DL4.
Yeah.
Or a
Yeah,
mini
yeah.
verb in this form factor
I
would
see
be
what
awesome.
you're saying,
Or a
yeah.
mini mod.
Right.
All of those DL4, MM4.
But something that's like dedicated.
Yeah, now that you say it, I'm honestly shocked they haven't made that. Like,
I know.
You really can't get those reverb algorithms in a standalone pedal. Like you have to get something with amps in it.
Well,
and drives.
you can get it now in the they do have the HX1. You know that's the new thing if you just want effects. The HX1.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't have amps. The HX1.
Correct.
That's just all the effects.
Just all the effects.
Oh,
I just don't.
But
love
then
about
isn't it just one thing? You just on or off?
Yeah, with one effect at a time. Any of the effects on and off. The problem to me that I don't like about the HX1 is when if I can only use one thing at a time, I don't want to look at your dumb menus. I'll accept menus as a because I have to control a million things.
Right.
I don't want a menu that tells me chorus or this or that, and I can't. I want a more tactile pad. I prefer that.
Yeah.
I like more knobs than less knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's like one of the things we all loved about the Kemper Player is like it's just a bunch of knobs.
Yeah, Tonex too.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the Walrus? Looks like an ACS1, but it's like the D1 and the R1.
Yeah.
I could see something like that. Like the D1 is like there's like 6 different algorithms. There's like EQ control and pre-delay. There's some good stuff on there, but it's all tactile. Like it's all right in front of you. Like if their algorithms were like that. You know?
To me, the Line 6 Pod Express, is that what it's called? This seems like I think it actually fits the same function that the original like kidney bean thing did, which is bedroom recording, bedroom playing, you know what I mean? Just something around the house or in a hotel room or whatever. Because I remember when I first heard, I think it was like Lincoln Brewster used to like, that was like his rig.
Yeah. He did use
and
Pod,
everyone was like, wow, that's wild. Like it was wild to us that someone would use that. Right? Because it's like clearly like a practice thing. Right. It's not like a performance thing.
Yeah.
And so I think to your point, maybe, you know, it's like, I think this is like a practice thing. It's not like a performance thing.
I mean, the Pod Go.
That's what it sounds
not
like.
Not the Pod Go. The Pod, though, was maybe we viewed it as a practice thing, but what was so forward thinking for them was they made amps already. Like the amps they brought out with first was the AX12. And that was like their first modeling amp. And then after that, they did the Flextone and the Pods. And I think the Pod came out right before the Flextone amps. But it was like, here's digital amps with effects. It's like a modeling thing. And then they sold a version of it that was just like no amp. It wasn't an amp. It was the Pod. It was like the brain. Of the thing.
Yeah.
And you could even plug in, what was so cool about the Pod, you could even plug in the foot switch of the big amps.
Right.
Just right into the Pod.
Yeah.
And it worked.
But I guess that, it's like maybe it was just because of the times or whatever.
Right.
It's like,
people didn't take it seriously for sure. It wasn't viewed as like a super professional solution, but, and it was super quirky, like the kidney bean weird thing. Yeah. I mean, it looked ridiculous.
Although it
still looks weird.
I recorded an album with my band in high school, and I remember we did like the scratch tracks, and I recorded a guitar solo on the Pod
on there.
And when we went to go record it for real, we listened back and we're like, "Oh man, you had like delay on there and everything. Like, sounds great. Just keep it." Yeah. So we ended up using that version.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's like, it for sure. It for sure worked. Yeah. Get rid of this thing. It is very heavy, but it for sure worked. I just think it was like, I don't know. I think it would be weird to just bring up that little thing and like, I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't use it all by itself.
Yeah.
And I could see it going on a pedal board, but.
Yeah, I agree. It's not for me. And if I was wanting something that was small that did a lot, I'd just go for the Stomp. Like I know that it's more money and all that stuff, but it's that is the hotel room headphone.
The HX Stomp.
Yeah, just bring
totally.
that with you and have all your tones or backup rig if your amp goes down. Like there's a bunch of uses for the Stomp.
But it's only $179. The Stomp is a lot more than that.
It's way cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's the lack of.
It's cheap.
I would get
editing for me.
I don't think I would get it for more than, just like.
Yeah, it's not for us. And I guess the only reason I even bring it up is it hit all the guitar YouTube channels.
Yeah.
It hit workshop tutorials. It hit 60 Cycle Hum. It hit all these places, and they obviously sent it ahead of time.
Yeah.
And it just seems to me like you don't see the Boss Katana on these channels. That's basically what this is.
Right.
I mean, this thing almost competes with more of like that M1 from Moore. It's like that little credit card sized guitar processor. It's also built into those guitars that they offer, those GTRS guitars, the Chinese.
Guitars?
Yeah, that's what they're called. The
Hard
guitars
to talk about.
It's those are all have all that built in. They just took all the electronics out of there and put it in a
I
little
never
thing.
saw those,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, they're not very popular. They don't sound very good. I tried them at NAMM. They're pretty
Well, there
pretty
you go.
bad.
Shocking.
Quick
But
review.
yeah, it just
You mean a guitar amp the size of a credit card? It's not.
no? Who would have thought? It's not.
And a guitar.
It's not even just a guitar amp. It's a whole like processor
I
thing.
know.
Like
Have you seen
Does
those
it sound better
Casio?
than? Does it sound better than that guitar?
It was like a race to the punchline.
barely.
I mean, that one has a tape like a
Yeah.
cassette
Record
player in
yourself.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Pod Express does not have a tape cassette. No, it just feels like it just feels like I felt like I saw it come up on YouTube, and it just felt like a new offering from Line 6. And then when I was like learning about it, I was like, there's nothing here for me, and I don't think there's meant to be anything here for me.
Yeah.
It just is showing up in front of me.
It was.
Yeah.
It was definitely like it was. I don't know. This is almost like a media test run for like when they launch something really big.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, how does this whole like sending it out to creators beforehand and like, coordinating all of that, like, let's make sure that this process works so that when we launch something big, we can do it well.
Yeah.
With this sort of throwaway
Yeah.
product.
I don't know. I think I would get use out of it. I used to have a was it Black Star that made like the little fly? It's like a tiny little guitar amp, and it sounded like garbage.
Right.
But I had that
The
thing.
band or the Refuse? Go ahead.
It sounded like the band. Yeah. I had it in my living room, and I would play it all the time.
Are you singing "I'm Only Happy When It Rains" in your head also?
100%. Yes. That was the only song I ever played on it, but that's why it sounded like garbage.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
No, I get it. But I played on that all the time. I think it would be cool to have like a little rig that you can just kind of take wherever.
Yeah.
And that segment of the market seems massive, right? Like the kids learning to play,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the
Probably, sure,
not professional, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like I said throwaway product, but it's really not. I mean, for that, I'm sure they're going to sell a boatload of them.
It's not, man.
Like if anyone came to me like in high school or whatever, hey, I'm just bought an electric guitar. How do I hear it? It's like, you could get this, man, and you could be playing like
Totally.
a matchless with like a tape delay and a great reverb for $200.
Right.
Like
I was reminded, and I say this honestly with the utmost respect for people learning how to play guitar and like doing this. I was in Guitar Center last night, and for some reason there was like a more than normal amount of people playing guitars, and they were all sort of obviously beginners. And it was like I was kind of walking around. I was like, oh gosh, it's like painful to listen to. But I was just like, oh yeah, like there are constantly new people learning how to play guitar, just forever,
Right.
and they don't want to spend $10,000 on a big pedal board and a guitar, and they want to get in for as cheap as possible. Their parents are usually funding it. They're not really sure if it's going to go anywhere or whatever, so they're not going to want to sink a bunch of money.
$400 for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like I feel like that slice of the market will just never go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a really good point. This brings up a topic that I'd like to explore here. We constantly get comments on this podcast, on Tone Junkie videos, on videos of me showing off all the amps, in the collection here. We get these comments sometimes of people going, I'll tell you where we got it. We recently did a $2,000 rig challenge and a $1,000 rig challenge.
Yeah.
And some of the comments were, why don't you do 500? A 2,000 is still too much, or 1,000 is still like too much for your average guitar player, most people. And I just saw my buddies at Worship Tutorials. They just shared a comment with us via text. That was someone going, you guys don't play normal guitars anymore, basically. You only play nice stuff. Why don't you why don't you show some cheap guitars so you can be relatable or something?
Right.
Which is like, that's okay. I get that, kind of. What is expensive when it comes to guitar? Because it seems to me that no matter how expensive all the stuff that I play and all the stuff I buy and want is, even how expensive a standard Fender is, and I mean Mexican made, not American made.
Right.
No matter how expensive that becomes, there still ends up being this like, well, that's too much money, or you can't afford that. And I get that, like you were saying earlier, there's always a bunch of people who are learning to play the guitar, and they're walking in and they're not going to spend $1,000 or anywhere near it. And there's a lot of kids, and their parents are basically trying to figure out, how do I get them a guitar and an amp for like basically less than $300?
Right.
How do I get in this for like $240?
Right.
You know, $280 maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but we're not going much above that. It's like they're probably accepting it's going to be over $100.
Right.
You know, no way it's going to be less.
Yeah.
You know, but I bet stores are probably like, man, if you got a beginner guitar, amp, cable, and stuff, you could get that at $199. It's probably a great.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. That's why you walk into every Guitar Center and they have a whole like aisle full of those Epiphone packs where it's like the guitar, a cable, a bag, a strap,
and 4 free lessons.
yeah, lessons and an amp all in one box.
Yeah. And what are they like? What do you think they're like? $250, $199?
I think they're for sure under $300.
Yeah. It feels like, and so I get that. Yeah. It's just that when I hear that criticism of like people are like, that's still too much, $1,000 is too much.
Right. But
I kind of go like, hey man, I've been playing guitar since I was 17.
Right.
What hobby would you spend less than $1,000 on in over 20 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute.
For sure.
20 years. I'm spending $50 a year to get like that. Like,
right.
1,000 doesn't seem like that much for some. Now I know you might be talking to someone who's younger, and so they're like, you know, but I mean, the other dynamic there is you just buy whatever's like normal and cheap when you're young, and it becomes expensive later on. Right. You know what I mean? Even a '90s Mexican Fender, was $250 back then, and now it's
totally.
I don't know, what do those go for? $700.
That's like it's like no one's going like, you know, to the NBA and they're like, you know, I just wish that they would wear like normal shoes. I just wish that they, you know, can they like play a game in like Skechers? Why can't they do that? Do you know what I mean? It's like you know, they're not going to do that because they don't want to wear those shoes.
So,
you know,
what is what do you say to the person who says like, because I bought some Harley Bentons when I got this criticism and I put it in some videos, and I got a great compliment on like the EVH video. We did some EVH sounds, and I would say 1 out of every 5 or 6 clips in that video is done with a Harley Benton. And someone was like, dang, it even sounds good on the Harley Benton, you know, which to me maybe speaks towards like the mysticism that exists around expensive or rare or vintage gear. Yeah. Because, you know, you can obviously plug in a Harley Benton. The pickups are not going to be worlds away from something. You know what I mean? Right. They might be different. Right. But if it sounds like a bridge humbucker, it sounds like a bridge humbucker. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of variation, but not really, you know?
Yeah. The variation.
It doesn't sound like a saxophone is my point. Like,
right.
You're not going to mistake it for a banjo.
If you take 2 humbuckers that are the most different sounding you can get and put them in the bridge position. Yeah. They're not going to sound all that different.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot more in common than in difference.
Yes,
right. And when
you'll be able to tell a difference for sure. Yes.
And there's some I would throw in the trash, and others I'd pay a lot of money for.
For sure.
But like I said, it's not going to sound like a saxophone. You're not going to all of a sudden be like, "Is that a banjo you're playing?" You wouldn't mistake it for a wind instrument. Right. You know.
But what about like a $4,000 Strat and like a $40 Strat?
I think we showed, Zeus.
I know.
The difference is a lot less
just
than
needed to chime in.
No, there was a comment about something I said one time, and someone was like, you know, this coming from a guy who couldn't tell the difference between a $40 Strat. And I just wanted to say, like,
a lot of people couldn't.
I was like, maybe you didn't watch the whole video, but I did tell the difference.
Yeah.
And I got it right. Look, I think what you said about the hobbies is exactly right. It's like, yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 11 years old, right? I'm almost 40. So I've been playing guitar for a very long time. I still buy cheap stuff, but I still really, really enjoy, you know. I think it's more about like the longer you play guitar or really any instrument, the more different kinds of things you have a chance to have access to.
Sure.
And like you pick up on stuff and it's like you got to be open to everything. And, you know, just the same way that people shouldn't turn up their nose at cheap stuff, you shouldn't turn up your nose at expensive stuff just because it's expensive either. Yeah. You know, I feel like there's a lot of that. I have that. I'm like, why would you pay that much money? But man, some of those, like I played a Music Man last night. It was $3,000 used. I was like, this is really good. Yeah. You know, it might be worth it. You know,
Interesting.
Yeah, and
So-
it's relative, right?
it is.
The 3,000 might be super unobtainable for someone, and then it might not be a big deal for someone else. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And it also, I mean, I've played so many $3,000 guitars. I would not pay $3,000 for.
Totally.
Just because
Yeah.
they're not my thing. I don't like them. I'm often perplexed, like you're saying. Why
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
anyone pay this
It's
for them?
I think everyone would agree that with gear getting more and more expensive, it's diminishing returns.
Yeah, but it feels
For
like to
sure.
me, when I get a criticism like that, like $1,000 too much for a rig, I'm like, well, where are you shopping?
Right.
Like what? I don't know how to get for a whole
For
rig.
a whole rig.
Right.
If we did 500, I would just go stomp and call it done. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be
Yeah.
that interesting of a conversation.
I think
'Cause
that's the other
it's
reason.
like
Well,
I-
that's the other thing,
I-
isn't it? Right? It would be a
I would
boring
want
video.
delay. I would want reverb. I would want all this stuff. It's like, well, I can spend $80 a pedal, or
Well, but what we
Yeah,
are
let's go
going
all
to do,
in.
because I ordered the China board, and
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah,
so I
we gotta
didn't,
do
and
that.
so I ordered
I'm
all the
excited
stuff.
for that.
You ordered all of them?
I ordered all the stuff.
Wait, how many are coming?
so excited.
Somewhere in the range of 6 to 8 pedals are coming
I'm
for a
excited
board.
about
Me
that.
too.
And
This
so I'm
is
going to
so
put
good.
it together, and then I'll show it to you guys, and we'll try it
The
out.
reveal.
What's great is most of the pedals, or some of them, I'll just say, are clearly copies of other pedals. But
Even better.
this whole board, I think it was less than 500. I think with shipping, it went over 400. Like
you
I
go.
think because some of it there was shipping and tax.
Is there an amp involved?
We're gonna use the Joyo pedals that I already have, which
okay.
are readily available for $30 and $40.
$30.
So even with those, even though I
Yeah.
didn't buy them on this right now, I already owned them.
I forgot about that.
This whole rig will be less than $500. So maybe this is the rig.
So there you go.
Put that
know.
versus the stomp. That'd be a great. I mean, for the money,
Oh, that's gonna be
what are you
interesting.
gonna get? Yay!
I love this.
And this is just mostly Joyo stuff. I didn't even
Okay.
really go shopping for like Flamma or
Right.
Donner or something
Malark
like that.
or whatever, the Malal or they have some weird
The
ones.
names crack me up.
I
for some
know.
reason.
They're so
I just
weird.
think it's-
I mean,
Did you
Joyo's-
buy all this on Amazon?
No, Reverb.
Oh.
Yeah.
It
No, I
would
went
have
on
been
Reverb.
better if you bought it on Amazon.
I went on Reverb
Free
because
return.
I think that should be another video. Like buy a rig, put together a rig, but you can only shop at Amazon.
well, they have everything now.
They
I
do
know,
have
but
everything.
like
Yeah.
they don't have
China
some stuff.
So the Joyo stuff, it'll be interesting because I tried to get a good amount of stuff. Like everything's going to be covered: overdrive, amp, mod, delay, verb. It's
Power?
all there. I'm just using existing power. I didn't want to
Okay.
buy one of their power. They
You don't
sell,
want Chinese power supplies.
They sell a couple power things. I didn't want to, and I didn't buy the board. I could buy the actual board.
Oh, yeah, the pedal board.
I'm
Okay.
just using the existing board. I can still get a board. I can go on Amazon and just get a board and one of their power supplies or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one right here. It's got nothing on it.
Yeah,
You could
yeah,
use
that's-
that.
Yeah, that was my
It's just
thinking.
an amp baffle.
Oh, right there. That's,
Just put some Velcro on that, and
wouldn't that be
Nothing
awesome?
like
That
a
would be cool,
nothing like a '60s bandmaster.
yeah.
Baffle
That,
as
that'd be more expensive than those pedals.
just that one.
Just
piece
that
of wood.
piece.
It'll be cool because we're gonna see how good this stuff is. You know,
I haven't played most of them.
Can I
Yeah.
actually do a request?
please.
I want to do like a blind. I want to do another blind challenge. Like try to put together a blind challenge for me.
Gamify.
What should
Yeah.
we call the board? I was thinking of call it like China board or Chinatone or
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
because that might not just end up being Joyo stuff. I could put
Okay.
other things up there. For now, we can call it the Joyo board.
I mean,
Budget board.
you could just call. I mean, I say this. The only remember there was that booth at NAMM that just said China.
It
Yeah,
really,
it
it
did.
really did.
it did, and we wondered
Like
what that was about.
I'm not saying this is a joke. Like literally, the only sign on it just said China. We should just call it China. It's like this is the China board. It's China.
yeah.
Wow. Is this going to be on Guitar Friends?
Yeah, we're gonna do it on
I'm
here.
excited. That's going to
Yeah.
be so fun.
Yeah, I want to just like show it to you guys and
Yeah.
see what you think of it. You know,
Yeah.
and go and we'll just try it and try different stuff.
This is
Playing
maybe
guitar
a
and
longer
Guitar
topic.
Friends is kind of a I don't know.
It could be a cool
Yeah,
concept.
it's like a lost art.
It's gonna take a long time to go through a board.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
because you're gonna
no.
like dial stuff in.
That's
But
the whole thing.
the challenge would be like, let's dial something in. That,
Well, we fixed our camera power issue, so we're good.
Right.
look at this, we're moving on.
What were you gonna say?
This
Sorry.
might be a totally different episode or whatever, but like I've seen a lot of people talk about
I just realized I aimed that light at you guys, and that one's supposed to be aimed at me. I'm probably dark in this whole episode.
Can you even see HW right now?
Probably because we adjusted the ISO in the editing.
That's true.
All right.
So really, really cheap guitar, but like nice pedals and amp. Or maybe separate all those out. Like, of those three, where are you going to sink the most money? Like, is a cheap guitar going to sound best through an expensive amp? Or is an expensive guitar going to sound better through even a cheaper amp? And throw pedals as like a ABC, equation. Where
because this will make a good clip. Let me just say this succinctly, so that way when we edit it, it'll make a good YouTube clip.
Yeah.
Okay, if you got to choose between one, guitar, pedal. See, now everyone knows the secret, right?
It's all one.
Okay.
Yeah.
See if you got to choose between one, guitar, pedal board, amp. Where are you going to sink the most money? Mm-hmm. Where do you put the most value? If you've got $1,000, are you dropping 500 on one of those? Mm-hmm. Are you going cheap guitar, expensive pedals, nicer amp, cheap guitar, cheap amp, nice guitar?
Are we ranking them? Like, I'd spend the most here, the least here.
Yeah, like what do you think? Even like practically, what would you really put together? Like, let me say this. I instantly, my mind goes to, don't chintz out on the guitar. It's what your hands touch. If you feel encumbered by the guitar, you can't get past that. If you hate a guitar, you hate it. A pedal can have one good setting, and it goes on and off. So if you got a pedal that's not amazing, but it has a purpose that you can find for it, even if that's the gain real low, that could work. You know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe the pedals aren't going to be the most but to me, instantly my mind goes to, I want to put the most towards the guitar. But I also would say this: you could put Goldie or the 67 or Trini, the 67 Trini Lopez. If you put that through a little Fender Frontman 12,
you'll ruin it.
That's
What's
not
the
going to
point?
sound good.
I was going to say counter argument. Don't chintz out on the amp because that's the last thing before it hits your ears.
It makes your sound.
Yeah,
right. It is the sound.
That's what you're hearing is the waveforms coming out.
I would go. This won't surprise either of you. I would go budget on guitar, but like a Harley Benton or something that's like good value for the money. And then
would pedals be last? Like that's the least priority in terms of.
Yeah, are we going like tube amp, or are we just going like separate amp, or are we going like
whatever you want? You can go digital or you can go amp.
Yeah, I mean,
I hear what you're saying. Go Harley Benton. Go.
Yeah,
go
I'm just saying.
Squire. Like I have that pink Squire up there.
Yeah. And
to me, I go like, hey, if for the money, that might be one of the better guitars you can buy, and if I could get that used, I might be in the sub 400 range, or right about $400, and
just for the guitar.
I'd go, this is awesome for 400.
Yeah.
My initial reaction is spend the most on the amp, so that sounds good, and then the guitar would be next, and then the pedals would be like the last consideration. Yeah. I only say that because I've played really, really cheap guitars that have wowed me,
like the $40 Strat. Yeah, right.
And I don't know what we're calling budget, but like some of your Harley Bentons are.
Yeah, those are budget.
Those are definitely budget.
Super nice for $300 or whatever.
They don't make much cheaper.
No,
like there's not much made that's cheaper.
I was thinking like the Epiphones that we bought. I like that Firebird quite a bit. And it was $500-600 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean 600. I feel like is.
So let's do this. Let's say we have $1,000 or even 1,200. We'll let it go to there.
I was gonna say $1,000 doesn't get you much of an entire rig.
Well, I know
we've been asked to
but
do
this is the challenge. Is like this is
it's a guitar and an HX. How much is an HX stomp?
Okay, check this out. There's a lot of guys though. There's a lot of people who are 18, 19, 20. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're working at a Guitar Center. They're barely making enough money. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And once they pay their cell phone bill, which their parents are making them pay,
right,
they hopefully keep air in their tires and there's enough gas for them to get around. Mm-hmm. They're really working so that they can blow $60 on a date Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like that's So that guy isn't going to spend more than even if he's really into it.
Right.
He's probably not going to be able to scrape together more than $1,000 to put.
If I have $1,000 to put a rig together, I'm getting a Harley Benton guitar and an HX stomp. That's $1,000.
And that's almost everything.
That's $1,000. And then I'll use the rest for gas money or a bottle of whiskey,
so that you can actually enjoy all those other things.
So that you can play
This is slowly
good.
becoming a whiskey channel, and I'm not mad at it. So
you can numb your pain. What would you do?
Oh,
$1,000.
$1,000. Am I just playing at home, or am I also like wanting to gig with this, like or play at church or something?
You are going to buy your rig, and maybe someone asks you to play, and there you go. Like maybe you're gonna.
My first thought was like not go digital at all. Just get like, I mean, if I could take the $40 Strat, I would, but that's sort of like an anomaly.
Yeah,
but I might get a Squire, like $150, like, and get,
if you went to enough pawn shops, you could find a Squire that's passable.
Because I want to save most of my money for like, I would get like a nicer amp, like maybe an AC-15 or like, it's hand wired something.
Yeah.
$700, maybe $800 used or something.
Yeah.
I could go cheaper on the amp and then get like a drive pedal and delay pedal and probably be happy. But I mean, I think the Stomp is so hard to beat when you're talking about starting with no rig. You could have almost everything.
Right.
For $500, like it's hard to not go that direction.
Yeah,
but
I've
I've played cheap amps that I just make me want to stop playing.
Totally,
you know what I mean. So it's like there's a threshold or like a entry that you got to get in above a certain point, and I just don't want to play some of those $100, $200 amps.
Yeah, like I love that little Black Star practice amp, but I wouldn't want that to be my only amp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're saying, like
if you're building your rig.
Am I building a rig?
My rig?
So if I was doing the whole rig, I'd go Boss Katana. So like I'd be putting the amps and effects together in one.
Yeah.
That would, and there's some Katana
that's like a combo, like a 112 combo.
Yeah, and they'll have and you can send it direct, or you can do whatever.
They actually sound pretty good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do. They have all sorts of different.
How much are
models
those
and stuff? While I'm saying this, I'll look up like some Boss Katanas on. But I'll tell you exactly which model I'd get to, because I have the model in my head, but I don't know what it's called. But guitar wise, I agree with you. I'd either go get something used that's like a Fender or, maybe something like a Harley Benton, but I try to find it used. You know what I mean? It would be something used. So and I meant like a Squire. I do something like that. If it could be a Telly or Strat style thing, I'd probably go for a cheaper Telly type thing. But Harley Benton would be there, and then I'd go and I'd try to do that for about $500 or $600, so that I could get.
You're saying the guitar is $500 or $600?
The guitar.
Okay. They don't make a $600 double neck.
They do. Somewhere.
I don't believe they do.
We just haven't mentioned the double neck in a while.
And then
we just went like an hour without talking about it.
Had to work it in.
Is it this?
When
50?
you said that guitar was heavy, I was almost like double neck heavy. But
you should have.
Yeah. That would
beat
have
me
been
to the punch.
Yeah.
This is really heavy and so long.
It's incredibly. It's like a bass.
I really like it though.
Do they make the katana for desktop?
Yeah, they have a Katana Air.
Like it's a
wireless.
That's what
like
I'm
that.
thinking of. Okay.
So that's the Katana Air, but I would do this. I think it's the 50. The Katana 50. Okay. Oh no, here's a Katana 100 with foot switch. I would do this. It has a foot switch. You dial in your sounds and you save it. It's almost like the old school flex tone.
Yeah.
You dial in your sounds and then you save it, and it remembers all the settings.
Foot pedal.
Yeah, and you can save that bank, and then it remembers where the knob is here and there. Yep. And then when you go to turn it, it activates again.
Yep.
It's like you're not.
Does that say 275?
275.
Wow.
With the thing, and it'll sound. They sound not bad.
That is crazy.
So then I would spend all the rest.
I'm just out of touch with all this gear, the Boss amp gear.
So then I'd get that or a 50. Dude, here's a 50 for 160. This doesn't have a foot switch though. I would want the foot switch so I could play live if I had to. And they've got some other models
that has direct out too, huh?
The Air does. I'm not sure about some of these other models. But I'd mic it if I had to. You know what I mean? And I could get a good tone. I could get to me, then I would put the rest towards my guitar. You know what I mean?
So you're going heavier on the guitar. I'm going heavier on the amp. You're going heavier on the amp. Is that what you said, John?
I feel like I split it evenly.
One third.
No, all I said was Harley Benton and HX Stomp. No pedals.
That's respectable.
It's like
just jam out.
If you've got like a patch that's got some reverb and delay on it, a patch that's a little drier with more gain.
I mean, the other way.
Oh,
I
you
could-
went stomp.
Yeah, the HX
Oh,
Stomp.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, the other way I could go is like.
I feel like that gives you the most options. Like,
But it requires other gear to like hear it though. Like you need monitors or you need some sort of like
yeah, but everyone has
headphones.
everyone
I
has
guess?
like speakers you can plug in, like computer speakers. It's not the best,
I
but
feel like that's cheating a little bit. Like your rig includes something you already own. That's fine.
huh?
Like you got to hear the thing, right?
Yeah.
Would you play only through headphones if that was your only way of
No, like you asked me this before when I had
Yeah.
a Kemper.
playing? Yeah.
You're like, how are you listening to it?
Right.
And I said, my computer speakers.
Yeah, monitors.
They sound fine. No, not studio monitors. Computer speakers.
Suze can't
Like the
understand.
same like the same speakers that you listen to music through.
He's like, what are you saying?
What are you talking about?
Like,
Like-
Logitech computer speakers.
Oh, like the little like
Yes.
like hardwired. in,
Yeah,
the
they're
whole
like
thing.
$35. They sound great, dude.
Do they sound great?
Yes, they sound great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of them have like a subwoofer to them also. Like
Altec Lansing
exactly. Well, yeah, like something like that.
College.
Totally.
I
Wait,
love
why'd
it.
you say Altec Lansing?
Because I had that 20 years ago in college.
Do you
Sat
know-
on the desk.
Do you know that
Yeah.
that they made guitar speakers back in the day?
Altec Lansing did?
Yeah.
No. That was the only thing I was aware they made was what I had.
Me too.
And it had a little subwoofer that was like the
Yeah.
little wire ran down.
Yeah.
I've had like so many different variations of these like two speakers and a subwoofer.
The reason why I'm so
Yes.
confused is I haven't used that system for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like it's only been
They sound fine.
yeah.
Yeah, they sound fine.
Yeah.
And they're $30. They're not $700 like studio
That
monitors.
is quite a
So
bit
if
cheaper.
I could also, there's a couple amps that like in my experience are.
Is that a crate?
Yeah, it's a Crate Palomino.
That's the one with the
V16.
3 speakers?
No, that
Oh.
is you're thinking of the Club 50.
The Club 50.
But
That was my first
which I couldn't.
big boy amp.
I would get a Club 50. If,
Those are rad.
if it were more affordable because they are rad.
Yeah.
But,
they're probably rare and like expensive.
Oh, this one's not functioning for $149. I don't think
good
that
deal.
counts.
I'll fix
But
it.
those are
can't play
cheap
it.
enough. Like one of those might be cheap enough that like if I could do $300 for that amp,
Mm-hmm.
and then I could get like some sort of multi effects unit, maybe I'd go that way, where it'd be tube amp, like a Crate Palomino, and then like some sort of
You got the
multi
Pod
effects.
Express. You got some. Just turn the amp off. And
Yeah.
You got delay, reverb, overdrive.
Because that's the one about your, Squire, because your rig was like Squire, like a small tube amp.
Depends
and then,
on what I could get the amp for.
And
yeah.
then like a delay and an overdrive pedal.
even just a delay would be probably be fun.
But see, that's the thing. Like that, to me, that's not enough. That's not enough of a whole rig.
Yeah.
Do you know what we should do?
You're like Mr. I want all the options.
$1,000 bucks.
I should buy a Boss
Why
Katana.
not? But like
that-
you,
I should buy that.
Sorry,
that-
we're fighting
yeah.
over here.
I should buy that Boss Katana 50.
Yeah.
We should bring out. You should bring over Harley Benton. I got the Squire and this Harley Benton Les Paul, and we should like do a video and just say like, are these tones as good as you hear that we sell?
Are you talking about like a battle of the bands? Like we all record a song with our
No,
gear?
I'm not talking about that.
Can you be talking about that? That sounds so fun. We all have to beat each other with our rigs.
oh my gosh, that would be so great.
You know what I mean? Like we.
Who could we get to judge it?
Jared.
Jared could
He would be, like, he would be equal to all of us. Ready?
What is the challenge here?
So we all have to actually get these rigs under $1,000, record a clip of them, and try to win out the.
I say we just prepare it and then play it live.
Oh, we do it in the room.
We do it in the room. We play
Heck
it live.
yes.
Jared says, okay.
What's the most pleasing?
Takes notes,
Yes.
and then at the end
He's
says,
like, okay, go
this
back
person's-
between 1 and 2 again.
this person's the winner.
Okay, my plan.
We're like
I think,
auditioning.
My plan, I think, total costs about $250. Your plan costs like $3,000.
What plan?
If we all get the real rigs and do it.
Well, we have an HX Stomp.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just play my Squire.
We have like a... Do we
Well,
have a...
the pickups?
We don't have an AC-15.
No.
I could borrow one from the shop.
Did you sell that Match Mini? Did you sell that?
Yeah, it just sold. Yeah.
That's cheap, right?
No.
700?
No.
1,000?
No.
Well, shoot. It's never gonna work.
That's-
It
See,
says
this is-
matchless on it.
This is... I know.
the other one, the JH20 was what I was thinking. That's cheap.
That is about $600 new. It's a head. It's just a head, though.
Dude, this
It's
is
just
what
a
I'm
head.
saying.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
tube amps are expensive. Like
That's the thing.
a tube amp that sounds really good is not.
Well, he's at 300 for his amps, and they're not tube amps. Though.
Well, the Katana. That was the modeling amp.
Yeah.
That Crate Palomino, I could maybe find one for about 300, but I'd still need effects. I was trying to get the cheapest tube amp that I could really
That's
get
the
going
question.
here.
What's the cheapest amp you would
Like
really
you said,
want to
AC
play?
So there's a-
15.
There's a
That's
couple.
like AC and AC 10
like
is
that
like
one at Musicville. What is that? Like that little black AC.
That's an AC-10.
that's an AC
Oh, it
10.
is?
And I really
Dude,
hate
I think
it.
it's
I
still
really don't.
400 something new.
I know, and I don't
Oh,
like it.
man.
It doesn't
Yeah.
sound that great. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say
But
it.
an amp really hangs you up because then it does make you want to go like stomp.
Because even you know what I was noticing, like you have that Mesa Boogie Mark 7 like combo amp. We plugged it in.
That
This-
costs $4,000.
I know, and like the speaker in that thing, it's
Yeah.
just like a tube amp pushing one speaker in a tiny open back cabinet. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
What about
It's
like
not.
a
It's not
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Silverface Princeton reissue? Aren't those like $800 brand new?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Could you get that for 500 used? Those sound cool.
maybe. I don't know if you can't get it for.
I don't know,
500.
man.
Maybe.
That's and I think this is why it's like, why don't you build a rig for $1,000? It's like
Now you're seeing it in real time.
we kind of
well,
did.
look. I mean, look, I'm saying
It's really difficult to build an
Yeah.
entire rig that you can be really excited about. I,
mean,
think
look,
that's
yeah,
the thing.
I could do the
enthusiastic about playing.
Yeah.
look
Yes.
the Boss Katana and that Harley Benton.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could make it work.
Right.
I'm not now knowing what I know and everything. I might not be the most excited about it,
Right.
but I could do it.
Right.
I could save my
But
stuff.
I guess that's the thing. Like
A
you-
Flex Tone 2 actually from Line 6.
right. But you can't have for $1,000. You kind of got to throw a tube amp out the window.
Correct.
Like, a really
I
good.
agree with that.
A really good tube amp is not part of the equation.
Maybe you could find like an old Blues Junior or Pro Junior that you can maybe get something. But
Yeah.
Princeton's are $800.
Yeah.
told you.
Yeah.
That is nuts, dude.
It's crazy.
Dude, yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like,
Wow.
you know, all of these digital solutions, they really do solve a big problem.
Because not
which
only
is
does
tube
it-
amps they only do one thing
Yeah.
and they're expensive.
And they take the pedal thing off the table because they're already in there.
Right. And
That Katana also, the thing that attracted me to it, I have a foot switch that I can actually get
Right.
my sounds to
So
change
you wouldn't
with.
add any pedals to that. That would be everything.
I would then go like, give me a $700 guitar. I would rather play that with an awesome guitar, and I dial
right.
in my verb delay.
I think-
and I dial in like 3 or 4
I think
sounds.
you may
and
have won.
I'd
I
be
think
like,
you
I'm
won.
done. Like,
Dang.
I think actually of all of us,
Yeah,
that
I
and
think
I
that's
don't
the way
even
to
need
go.
to play it. I
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
rig
I think
sounds
it would
the
be
best.
great. And sure,
Call
it's not,
Jared off. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to come over here.
And what are you going to find in there?
HW wins.
I win. You're gonna find what we all find, which is most of the amp models suck, but you'll find one that's kind of good.
Just stay there.
You'll go, this distortion kind of sucks, but this green one, if I don't turn the volume up all the way, and then you'll go, I kind of like this verb, and that's a delay.
Right.
Yeah, throw a little chorus. Chorus always sounds like chorus.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'd be like, this is
This works.
cool.
It does
and
this
you'd
one
probably
thing.
be like, I just roll the guitar treble down because it's kind of harsh.
Do those record direct? Like, can you go straight into a...
Some of the models do. I'm not sure if the one I found for 250 does. The 50, and they've made newer and older, so there's an older style katana. But the airs definitely go direct.
Even better.
It doesn't the Katana Air and that Yamaha they
Yes.
like compete with each other.
The D,
Oh,
whatever.
yes.
The little desktop.
Yes.
Yes, I
thing.
just saw those. At
Yeah.
noon.
Yeah.
and those are cool. Those
Yeah.
are real cool,
Yeah.
dude. We're so fancy.
Were
We're
you
already
waiting for a beep?
Yeah, we're already at the point of the podcast. These cameras definitely would have died already by
Oh,
now.
100%.
Wow.
And but we have there's nothing making us end now.
No.
Wow.
I feel like we're in like fifth gear right now.
Do you think that there's a
That was the cold open.
that was it? That was a cold open,
Yeah,
guys.
welcome to
Let's get
episode
let's
26,
get to
y'all.
it. Welcome to Guitar Friends. Listen, so
You want me to play us in?
please, Sue, play us here. So okay,
We amuse ourselves.
I've thought about this. What if I made a video because I've wondered this too, like on the Talking into a Mic Tone Junkie podcast bathrobe thing. How long could I do that for? How long could I just talk into a microphone? Tone Junkie podcast. Let's say I do episode 100. What if it's 12 hours?
That was a lot longer than I thought you were going to say.
That's a
I thought 2 or 3 hours would be long. You know,
Well, we've almost got. We're at an hour 30 almost.
So
right?
double this.
you mean just you talking into a camera?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Dang, 12
don't take
hours.
this the wrong way.
Yeah.
You could go a while. I think you could go 3
Well,
hours.
like,
I
could
think
you
you
do-
could
yeah.
easily
Like,
go
what kind
3
of
hours.
I'm thinking like, how long could a video be?
Right.
You know, like I don't even know what YouTube will let you put up. There's live streams that go
Live
for
streams,
years.
yeah.
You know, and they never end.
Right.
Yeah, Lo-Fi Girl's been going for
Yeah, long time.
a long time.
Yeah, she's been interrupted a couple times. She had the longest stream and then got interrupted, and people got upset. They put it back up. But
So I think that the longest video you're allowed to publish as like a video is 12 hours. I think that's the limit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think I've seen longer ones than that, but maybe they were live
They
streams.
were live streams.
yeah,
That eventually became videos.
Yes. Yeah. A channel I watched, he did a thing where he was like, what? It was a CGP Grey video. And it was like the death counter. It was like, here's how many people die in the world
What a bleak video.
in real time.
Oh my God.
And so it was just a counter, and he wanted to do it for a full day, but YouTube wouldn't let him.
Does it work with how many? Like, does he also show how many people are born?
I don't know.
That would be cool, so you can see how the population's going up.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway,
Why not live stream this event? Like, why make a video out of this?
I know.
I think you could go.
I was
12
just
hours.
saying we should start live streaming.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the
test.
maybe Bath Road HW is the
Hey,
perfect.
first,
I can't believe I'm saying it, but you might be right.
look at us. We plugged the cameras in, and now we're about to start live streaming. I mean, it's just
Dang.
it's how it goes. It really takes-
2024. We're taking off.
2024. Here it is. Is it 2020? Yeah, it's 2024.
It is 2024.
It sounds so futuristic.
Isn't it wild? I mean, I feel like time is just speeding up.
We've
so
come this far.
It's wild
My.
how far we've come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely won that.
I feel like I won the pedal board one. Especially that middle one. Everyone was stoked about the middle one.
The smaller one.
Yeah, with the little JHS guys
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was good.
I'll give you the small board.
I was mad.
That was
Big-
1,000.
big
I was
board.
mad that you guys made me have an amp.
Big board.
Minutes before we went on.
Big board between you and Jared. It just reminded me. They felt like very safe choices because they were mostly Strymons. You too. Everyone's big board.
Those
I
are
was just.
real boards.
I know, but I was just like.
Like, we did make that choice.
Right.
I
that was
know.
like very close to a board I had in real life.
I know, but it just felt like.
Like, I curated that board with my own money.
I know, but it just felt like it's.
If I could
You
beat
know,
it, I would.
And I enjoyed it.
Like,
yeah.
I've tried to beat
If
those.
I could beat it, I would.
I have tried.
I would have. Yeah.
That's what stayed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're all different.
Yeah.
I liked
mean,
you. I
maybe-
liked yours.
Yeah, maybe the $2,000 was it's so
The Kemper stage.
it allows so much. You can
Yeah.
you kind of buy and people end
But
up.
I am interested in that also. Like, almost like if money's no object, what are you going to get? Like, I want to know people's answer to that too.
I feel like that maybe another challenge we should do is money is no object, but you can only use like a certain size of board.
So it's hard. So money.
Do you know what I mean?
Size is an object.
$1 million board challenge.
Yeah.
The $1 million.
Yeah,
rig
$1 million
challenge.
board, but it has to fit
You
on
can
like a
spend
PT2.
up to $1 million.
We've done $1,000 full rig and $1 million board. No guitar. All in one episode.
Maybe we should do though. Maybe we should do
I think-
full $1 million rig challenge.
Yeah, $1 million rig, but
What
you
would
can
you
only
play?
have one guitar.
You can choose any guitar you want.
Any guitar. I mean, you have unlimited money, but
Has
you
to go
can
in a
only have one
PT3.
guitar. It's
Yeah.
a PT3 or whatever
Big
we
one,
decide
yeah.
on, and like one amp. That's it.
We should definitely do that.
So you can't just build like
Yes. No, it can't be one
You're
amp.
taking
though.
You can't
No,
build
it
a-
it can't be one
Plexi.
amp. It can't be one amp because what if I want to put like a deluxe and an AC30 in stereo?
All right, two
that's
amps max.
Because if money's no object, I might want to.
Okay, so are we doing like wet dry wet rig, or are we doing just stereo
Dude,
rig?
the Edge has like 6 amps in his rig.
Bonamassa?
He's
Yeah,
got-
Bonamassa has like 10.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, when I added the Dumble, that's when it
Yeah.
really took off.
Just
So-
to get these mids.
It's $1 million. The $1 million amp challenge.
think-
Or $1 million rig challenge.
I
That's
think
what we'll do next.
Bonamassa does have $1 million rig.
Depending on some of those amps.
But
yeah.
so all right, so
we gotta do
stereo
that.
amps, so 2 amps.
Maybe 3. Why limit it? Maybe it's 5.
I think it should be 2.
I think it's got to be just a rig that you actually would use together. mean, it can't be a guitar collection. It can't just be amps because you like them.
Okay.
Like,
That's
they've
what I'm
gotta-
saying. Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
constraint is not money. The constraint is one guitar, anything that you can fit on a PT3, and 2 amps, so you can run in stereo. That's our homework. I like this. I like this challenge.
It's got to fit on a PT3.
Yeah.
How big is a PT3?
I don't
It's
know.
pretty big.
It's pretty big, I think.
Yeah,
It's a
it's like
big-
the 3 stacks.
All right,
you know?
PT2 then?
No,
Do we go-
PT3,
No,
I
three,
like it.
three is good.
Yeah.
I want to see what goes on this thing.
And money's no object. It has to fit on the PT3.
Yeah, it just has to fit on that.
I'm sort of also saying don't limit the amps. Just because I want to have that conversation.
Unlimited
It just-
amps?
It just,
What would
okay,
you really
one guitar,
play?
One
What would you
guitar,
really
yeah,
play?
one guitar. It's got to fit on a PT3. Do we say you can use you can use 2 amps? Should we just limit it to 2
That's
amps?
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. If you can't get it done with 2 killer amps, then
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on the bottom also, whatever.
3 amps.
3 amps. All right, let's
No
go.
more than 4 though. 4 would be the cap, right? You don't need 6
Yeah, because then
amps.
you could have like stereo cleans, stereo.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking like
Yeah.
Uncle Larry. He brings a Marshall Super Bass Plexi, a 65 Bassman, and like a matchless
like
C30.
cartage, yeah.
Like that's what he carts in, and it all goes into into one cab.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like an Eric Johnson rig or something like
Yeah.
that.
You know what this reminds me of? Those series like sound like the Foo Fighters by breaking the bank.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
then not breaking the bank or whatever
Right.
it was. Like,
Yeah.
those are always so because it was like they'd have to go in a store and be like, okay, what can I spend my money on?
Okay, without telling, because we got to give it some thought, but
Yeah.
we'll end here soon. But without spoiling the whole rig, just give us a hint. What might the guitar be? Like, just because you're going to think about this more, I'm going to think about this more. So I don't know, but just
Right.
hearing it
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, what guitar might we
yeah,
choose?
money's no object.
Money's no object. What guitar are we choosing?
First thing I thought was Trini. I mean, but
It is tough.
could I beat that with something like some really nice Telly or Strat or I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I'd rather play Trini than any Sir guitar I've ever played. So that lops that off. You know what I mean?
Sure.
By the way, just as a side note, you've been saying a couple times like, I think Trini needs some work on it, and I changed the strings and cleaned it.
It's like right as rain.
Yeah, right. That was all.
Turns out that's
Sometimes
all it
the
needed.
simplest,
That was all it needed.
solution.
Now it's like, oh my gosh, this thing's amazing again. I don't know, man. I think
Part of me thinks like I'm gonna go all the way unobtainium. Like I'm gonna take like Kirk Hammett's Greenie Les Paul. That belongs
Over
to,
the double neck?
well,
you don't want like Jimmy
You'd be-
Page's double neck.
Hey.
maybe
That's
maybe
By the way, you said $1 million rig. That's more expensive.
Don
Oh yeah.
that would, at auction, that would not
Never
sell for
mind.
$1 million.
Yeah, that's probably true.
the Greenie.
No, Jimmy Page's
Page's guitar.
Page's double neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. How about maybe I'd take like Don Felder's double neck or something. Like somebody's. But I don't know if I want a double neck. I might take if it's one guitar.
Oh man, the era of the double neck is
That was short lived.
drawing to
No,
it.
I'm
drawing
just
to a
saying any
close.
guitar. Well,
Yeah, sky's the limit.
the thing is, there are double necks out there that are old double necks, but they're and they're great. But if money is no object, how do you not like choose a burst? You know what I mean?
It's a Les Paul, though. I mean, if you don't like the style, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I know.
you could
My
you could just put
first
a-
It's
thought-
not just most expensive guitar.
my first thought
it's-
was like some like really cool Collings guitar or something like that, because those things are like outrageously
They are,
expensive, but they're really
are awesome.
they're really good.
They're not
though.
just money.
So like like some kind of double humbucker Collings that's like killer.
I might go with like.
I don't know what. It's a
Okay,
choice.
I might go with there's a guitar out there. It's a 57 Les Paul that's chambered, and it was made for Mary Ford by Les. And it was one of the early Les Pauls made. And he made it for her because the guitars were kind of heavy. She wanted a lighter guitar, so he chambered it. And I would take that and I put a Bixby on it.
Wow. Modding a piece of history. It's nice.
I feel like that. I get like the vibe of it though,
Or I'd take like just
but
a
what
57.
if it doesn't sound that good?
Okay,
or
well,
like, what if it doesn't
a great
play?
sounding 57 Les
All
Paul?
right, yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe a 335. Maybe like Clapton's Crossroads 335.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you would lean towards the Les Paul, given you don't really gravitate towards them
Normally.
normally. You know what I mean? Like more of
Yeah.
a Trini or
Yeah.
Goldie or
I don't want a vintage Fender. Like I don't want a vintage and
yeah.
No.
but if money's no object, what would I choose? I mean, that'd be really cool.
We gotta do it.
We should.
And I want to see these huge boards.
Yeah.
Just like throw everything on there.
What'd you say you would choose, Suze, for your guitar?
I mean, right now I'd probably do Trini.
Yeah.
Like
It really is.
it's like what guitar would I say next? I'd be like, yeah, throw out Trini. I'd rather have
Right.
you know.
I know. Now I just want to play it.
Like I love Tellies, but it's like what's a really, really high end nice Telecaster? Like you said some of the old ones you've played have been dogs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so it's like
I know.
custom shop maybe, like custom shop Telly.
Get your no-caster back.
I'd rather take Trini, man.
You would rather have
Oh,
Trini?
for sure. 100%.
Maybe I'll
It's really good.
maybe I'll just play this Gretsch.
Yeah, play that Gretsch.
Baritone guitar.
No one would choose that baritone
As your only
Like
guitar.
make a case for it.
as your only
Money, no object.
Oh man.
guitar. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Well,
We're not used to still having cameras on.
yeah, we're usually in the dark by
Yeah.
now.
We don't even know what
Wow.
to do with ourselves.
This has been episode
26.
26.
26.
26. Incredible.
We're on our way.
We're on our way. And I think the plan soon, I'm trying to get Michael Britt to come over.
That'd be fun.
Stu's going to come over.
Nice.
I want to do an episode with our wives.
With
Did we
them
talk
or
about that?
only them?
Did we talk? Who did I talk about that?
We were chatting about it.
Were
You
we?
and me?
We were all on this show. We were talking about it.
Were we?
Yeah.
And what were we
I
going to
don't
have them
remember
do?
what I did
We
yesterday.
were talking about them just taking over the
Oh.
the episode. I'm like, my, how far we've come.
Oh, right. And that was like
They
because your
pretend
wife
like-
thought you played bass.
Yeah,
Right.
and let them just talk about gear for 30 minutes. That's probably all
Yeah.
they could.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't know what
See
to
what
say.
they know about gear.
The thing
we'll
is,
give them a gear quiz.
that would be fun.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll give them a gear quiz.
Like, what is a 12AX7? What am I talking about?
How many? Yes. What is a 1287? How
And then
many?
Chris
what
is
is-
like, what?
What is an AC30?
Right.
Yeah.
How many guitars does Suze own?
Right.
How many guitars do I have?
Right. When I
How
say
many-
a baritone, what am I referring
How many
to?
strings are on a double neck guitar?
Yeah. Which double neck?
Great question.
Great question.
Would they ask
They
that
come in
question? Would
different-
they
yeah.
come? Would they
Great
come
question.
in with that question?
Is this a good amplifier? Just to watch what
Oh
they
my
say.
gosh, that would be great.
Maybe we just tell them like find the most expensive guitar in this room.
Oh, interesting. Just by looks.
Find the most expensive amp in this room.
Right.
You know. Find the cheapest.
They might nail the amp though if they go for the purple one.
I think
There's
I've
two purple.
I think I've asked my wife in Guitar Center, like, what do you think is the most expensive guitar in here? Like from far away. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Does she know to look up?
And she always just goes
Yeah.
up, and then it's just like whatever the flashiest one is. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like,
Which probably is not true.
no.
Sometimes the
It's
most
like,
beat
see
up
that
one.
really weird looking beat up
Yeah.
guitar? That's like an old one.
Yeah.
It's 15,000 or something. You know. But
That could be really good.
I like it. We got a good. I like that we're just
We're
talking.
just generating ideas.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that this podcast now is just ideas for more episodes of podcasts.
It's like a
Like one podcast I listened to is like, "What is this podcast about?" It's like it's about whatever they talked about last time.
Yeah.
right. It's just keep
There
picking
is
up where they left off.
there is no topic.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
All
but
right.
this podcast is about whatever we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
time.
right.
I think we got to arrange that to get the wives in
forecasting.
here. That could be a good. We'll put some thought into it. Give it
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
Get some questions together. We'll do like a scoring system. You know.
And then the China board.
Yeah. What if we do?
Oh, the China board.
Wait. What's that one where
The
it's,
unobtainium.
it's
rig.
What's that one where it's like the newlywed game? Like how well do you know?
Oh yeah.
We'll have questions that we'll answer about our guitars and amps and stuff, and then we'll see if they know the answers that we
yeah.
said.
I love that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose
Does
that one.
Suze play the bass?
We'll start there.
Shelly said yes. Sue's answer was no.
Yeah.
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 No points granted.
What instrument does Suze
Right,
play?
yeah. Is it the drums? Is it the bass? Is it the guitar?
Oh, that'll be good.
That's great.
That'll be really good. All right.
All right.
Guitar Friends 26. I've been HW.
I'm in Suze.
I'm John.